Welcome to the Above Average Driven Millennials podcast series, where entrepreneurs, celebrities, and athletes talk about their journey, from starting and all the shit they had to go through to get where they are today. Please spread the love. Write us a review. We want to help as many entrepreneurs and people as we can with advice from industry experts. Now, here's your host, President and founder of Adapting Social, John A. Vagueiro.
Welcome to the Above Average Driven Millennials podcast. We're super excited today because we have fucking Eat Clean Bros' very own fucking Jamie here.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
This guy is a fucking savage. If you don't know who Eat Clean Bro is, you're fucking insane, because if you drive a car and you're on the road, you're going to see a fucking billboard somewhere, okay? That's just the fucking fact of the matter. But, Jamie, for people who don't know who you are, please do a quick intro on yourself. Just obviously Eat Clean Bro, but like the beginning stages of it.
Woof. How's it going, everybody? This is Jamie from Eat Clean Bro.
Savage.
I started cooking for my friends. It was a really humble beginning, just cooking for my friends. I was bodybuilding when I was 19 years old, and I was in tremendous great shape. Unlike now, hashtag dad bod.
Because you're a new father too.
Yeah, it's a very there's a lot of stress involved with owning a big business and being a new father. But Eat Clean Bro started back in 2005 when I was 19 years old, and a guy saw me changing in the locker room, and he approached me and was like, "What do you eat?" Had shredded abs.
The washboards.
Yeah, shredded, completely shredded, and he was like, "What do you eat?" And I was like, "I eat chicken, sweet potatoes, and broccoli." He goes, "Can you make me some?" I said, "Yeah." And then my brain started working. I'm 19 years old. I have no business experience. I have no culinary experience. I just cook for myself in my backyard. And I was like, I'm thinking all right, I'm spending about $190 a week on food. And I'm like, all right, man, I'll do your meals for $3. Right? I was just trying to get my food for free.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wasn't thinking this could be a business.
No.
I was just thinking dude, if I cook for me and I cook for him,
right,
then he'll pay for me to eat.
Right.
And then my personal training money can go to other things.
Right.
Because I was just working for food at the time. I was making 2005. I had to have been making $9 an hour at New York Sports Club.
Right.
Helping people lift weights. And I was a gym rat. I was a gym rat before Instagram. And I just want to make it very clear that I was into fitness before it was cool to be into fitness. Yeah. Right? People were like, "What are you, a freak? Get a real job. What are you doing at the gym all day? You're a weirdo." But now everybody's into the gym.
Yeah.
All right. So
And now if you go to the gym and it's not on Instagram, did it really happen?
No, it definitely did not happen.
Exactly. If you aren't posting your workouts and your stories beforehand.
So what happened was I started bringing food to him, and then that day the two guys next to him at his office were like, "Hey, can your buddy make me food?" Because there was nowhere to get this food.
Right.
You had to cook it yourself. And back then, it was you knew a guy who cooked your food. It was real underground. It was really funny. So then he came to me and was like, "Hey, my friends want food." And I was like, "Look, bro, I'll keep your price at $3, but your boy's got to pay $5.
Right.
And then I was in business. And then dude, the whole office started ordering. And ironically, at 19 years old with no business experience and no nothing, I landed the biggest corporate account I ever had. Up until recently, I've gotten bigger. I've got some accounts now that are big, but it was during the mortgage boom, and there was a huge mortgage office. People were making money hand over fist. I mean, people were buying my meals, throwing them in the trash. It was like Wolf of Wall Street. It was a really crazy. It was a really crazy experience to have at 19 years old. What happened was it taught me that I could own my own business, and that lit the fire. That wow, I could be an entrepreneur. I can own my own business, and this is a real thing. And it was something that I loved doing. So I didn't mind working really hard. I didn't mind staying up all night. And I didn't mind all the real hard work that most people who don't love doing what they do would quit. But I ended up 4 or 5 weeks later. I ended up going out of business. I destroyed my dad's house. So then I had to close up shop. But there was still a demand. Everybody was like, "Yo, Jamie, when you cooking again? When you cooking again?" So then, like, over time, like, I partnered with my best friend who was a chef who went to culinary school. We had, like, success, and then we failed, and then we had success, and we failed. And, like, it went back and forth from 19 to, like, 26 when eventually I gave up and I quit. Yeah, I threw in the towel.
You threw the fucking towel in.
I threw the fucking towel in. I was like, dude, I can't keep wasting time. Like, I'm 26. My resume is a joke. Like, I'm a failed business owner multiple times. So then I tried getting a job. I dropped out of college like a million times. Like, I was a really bad student, you know? Like, I always felt...
I was the same way, dude.
Yeah, I was a really bad student.
Same way.
I spent a lot of time on my own, like, reading books. You see, like, when I make jokes about being a bad student or I make jokes about doing really bad in school, like, that's all true. But, like, I've always taken education very seriously. So, like, I've read stacks of books. Like, I've dedicated years of my life to reading books. I've read... I don't even remember all the books I've read.
Right.
When I was younger and I was, like, failing all the time, it was, like, driving me crazy. Like, why am I failing? Why am I failing? So I kept learning, and then ultimately, like, the final blow was, like, when I was 26. That one of those last times, I really felt like I had it. I felt like I worked in restaurants. Like, I had the background. Like, I knew what I needed to do. And then I just couldn't, like... I just couldn't... I don't know. My partner quit on me again, and then that was, like, the final straw where I gave up.
And that's tough, bro. I'll tell you one thing. When I was starting my business in the beginning, you know, when I had 4 to 5 people drop on me, and like when you're struggling like that, it's like, dude, clearly, what the fuck's going on around here? So that's tough.
Yeah. Then the turning point was, so after like Hurricane Sandy, like we were talking about before, it was like a very sad time for the Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
You know, like where I grew up got destroyed, and like my mom and my grandma, my uncle all lost where they lived, and I just remember feeling really bad about it, like really bad about it. I made a promise to myself that like I would never be poor again, and going into that year, you know, like a lot of people make fun of New Year's resolutions, but to me, like they're very special because that's like your time to turn it around.
Right.
And I made a declaration to myself that I would never be poor again. And to be honest with you, I had given up like cooking. Like I was done. Like I was like, dude, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm wasting time. I'm failing. Like the only way this will ever be successful is if like I get a ton of money. Or like, I didn't even know how to make it happen at that point, right? So I went on a bunch of job interviews. I went to like Sleepy. I even like I even applied to work for Muscle Maker Grill as a delivery driver. Ironically, like that didn't happen.
Right.
That's like ironic, right?
That is fucking ironic, dude. That's
like,
crazy.
A few weeks later, I started a company that just fucking kicked their ass.
You put their ass out of business over there.
I really like when it comes to New Jersey. Like I really beat their fucking ass.
Yeah.
But dude, so it was really discouraging. Because I was going to these places, and I was like, look, like, I understand I don't have experience. My resume says, like, bartender and failed business owner. Like, I'm willing to work for $9 an hour. At that point, I was willing to start at the bottom, and I just needed to, like, get bartender off my resume. I needed to get, like, failed business owner off my resume. And I was willing to start at the bottom and do whatever it took. I was willing to do whatever it took to be successful, and I didn't get the job at Best Buy. And at that point, dude, like, I was, like, honestly, like, super discouraged. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't even get a job at Best Buy.
Right.
And, like, I was struggling because, like, where I was bartending sucked, and, like, I was making, like, pretty shitty money. And,
did any of this put you in any sort of funk or depression?
I was in massive depression, dude. I was, like, I remember one time, dude, I was so depressed that, like, I told my boss at the bar, I'm like, dude, I need to go. I went to GNC. I got 5 HDP, the fucking chewable tablets, dude. I chewed like a whole bottle for like mood enhancement because I was like, I can't take this no more.
I need to get up.
Yeah, dude. I was literally like a pressure cooker. You know, like I had all that ambition.
Right.
Like I knew I was, like, not to sound crazy, but like I knew I could do something great, and I knew, like I was just like boiling, dude. Like the pot was ready to fucking blow. Like I knew something was wrong. Like I was not happy with being a bartender. I was not happy where I was in life, and I knew that I could do something. I knew I could make something happen. I just didn't know what. You know, I mean, I had failed at what I loved doing so many times that I thought that wasn't the path. And then I ended up So that New Year came because Sandy happened, and then like November, December, just dwelling, and then I'm like, what do I do? And then January 13th, 2013, I got a phone call from the guy who saw me changing in the locker room from 2005.
No
he called
way.
me. Yeah, way.
What?
Yeah, how crazy is that? That's like goosebumps, right?
Dude, yeah, we have the fucking chills right now.
Yo, he's like, are you still cooking? And I'm like, dude, I'm sitting on the floor staring at the wall. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm cooking.
Of course I am.
What do you want, bro? Like, I'll be there tomorrow, right? Like, I'll fucking cook your food right now. And then I was like, any of your friends want food in the office? And he's like, yeah. So I was living at my boy's house at the time. Like, me and him were like squatting at his parents' house. We're both like 26 years old with his parents' house. Like, his parents were in Florida, so we had the house to ourselves. And it's almost like God, bro, because like this house had a commercial kitchen inside it. So like, it's all like really crazy, right? Are you kidding? It's like God had something to do with you.
It's too good to be true, honestly.
It's really crazy. So I asked my boy Paul, I'm like, yo, Paul, you think like your parents care if I'll cook at the house? And he's like, yeah, man, like that's what you should be doing. Like all my friends were like encouraging me, like, Jamie, like this is what you love to do. Like do it, just do it. So I got on the phone. I started calling like old friends of mine who used to get meals, and I made like 82 meals that first week. I made I made $150 profit.
Fucking rich in one day.
Yo, I took that $150, bro, and I put that shit back into pots and pans, and I just kept reinvesting into that.
I was gonna ask you that. Are you a big reinvestor even today?
Yeah, bro. Oh my god.
I mean, with the billboards you got everywhere, man. I'm like, dude, this dude's like.
Yeah, I'm like, I take my time with things. I don't really rush. I feel like because of me starting my company with $300 and starting it on my own, I'm pretty like aware of what I spend. I don't have like any private investments. I don't have an investor who I could just go to and say, I messed up this month. I'm out of money. Can you write me a check?
I fucking love that.
Yeah,
that's fine. I didn't know that. I didn't know that about you, Clean Bro or not, because that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Dude. So you never got funded or nothing.
No.
Yeah, neither did Adapting Social.
Yeah, that's cool.
Let's go.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
That's really cool. Yeah, it I feel like it just turns you into an animal.
It does.
Until
you have a kid.
Yeah. Yeah,
dude. Me and my wife are trying, and now I'm like. I'm about to text her and be like, Jack, not yet.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Like my wife is like more than my wife. She helped me everywhere in my life.
Right.
And she's really solid. So, yeah, you definitely like if you and your wife are a good team, dude. That's like. Oh,
absolutely.
That's the
she's the CFO here.
Oh, yeah, that's like my wife.
Yeah. She's the CFO here. But listen, honestly, so far there's been so much awesome stuff, and like everybody listening, like just to give you some background, like we have people that listen in across the country, and cool. Like the biggest thing, dude, is like these are entrepreneurs who are hungry, who want to learn from this stuff, and a lot of stuff that you're saying, like I want people, because a lot of times we get people who call us or email us and say like, listen, I listen to you in the gym, I listen to you when I'm at the office, I plug my headphones in. It's like, make sure this fucking podcast specifically that you are like gonna rewind. If you're at a gym, go back, re-listen to this, and get a fucking notebook, because like this dude right here that we're talking to, I know you're gassed because obviously you have a baby and you're running over 100 person company. Yeah. You have shit going down. This is real shit that you're doing, but also there's so much to be learned from an entrepreneur like yourself. And a lot of people, that listen in, they know my story. And, I have a very similar kind of beginning, because for my family, my family never had money. I'm the oldest of 5. My parents, always struggled financially. And when I was 17, I had a million different odd jobs. And it was like, I needed to do something that I could help them with. And obviously, I didn't go to college. I couldn't go get a real job. Yeah. Everything else, all the jobs I had at 17, I was making like money on the side. And it was like fucking nothing. And so I couldn't help my parents pay their mortgage that way. So I was like, how the fuck can I actually contribute? And so Googling and YouTubing is how I found to start developing websites and start to do marketing. And then, understanding the psychology behind how to really impact your audience from subconscious validations before they know who you are and stuff. And so as I started to build that, I had my parents pay their house off in like 3 years. And so like just like again, but when I look back, same situation. I had a solid 2-3 years where it was like tough as fuck. Yeah. I had no money. My parents were broke. I had my grandma paying my fucking gas money to go to these places. And a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are just starting, they don't understand that the things that you're talking about, the reason why you're a savage is because you went through those fucking things.
Yeah.
If you just were Eat Clean Bro today, like with no failure, you wouldn't be such a seasoned vet and you wouldn't be so smart.
Yeah.
But one thing I really want to connect with you on, because everybody, we let people know, obviously, Eat Clean Bro is going to be here. We had a bunch of, friends, fans, clients that were like, dude, so what is his whole, how did Eat Clean Bro start? Like, what was the name? How did the name come out of everything?
So I got to give full credit to my dad.
Oh, shit, Pops.
Well, you got to remember, man, like I told you, I went out of business 7 fucking times.
What was the first few names?
Diesel Grill.
Oh, let's go.
That's pretty hard.
Diesel Grill. I love it.
Yeah, me and my boy were psychopaths. We were just 2 shredded assholes who were like, "You want to look like us? You want to look like us?" It was so lame, bro. But so I didn't want to call my company anything because I was fucking scared that I was going to go out of business again since it had happened to me so many times. And by going out of business, I mean you get to a point where, well, any time in business, you get customers, you get money coming in. And then you lose customers, but your costs are still high. So you got to keep that, you got to keep on getting new customers, and you got to keep on keeping your customers, because if your money goes down and your costs are still high, that's how you go out of business, bro. You run out of time. So that would always happen to me. And sorry, I'm getting off track. So my dad was like, "Why don't you call it Eat Clean Bro? It's all you say."
So that was a saying that you used to say to people, eat clean, bro.
Eat clean, bro. Just eat clean.
I fucking love this, bro. I'm loving this back end. Yeah. This is fire.
So my dad helped me, because what happened was I was friends with Mike the Situation before he got famous. Right. So at that mortgage bank that blew me up, that I used to always go back to and get all my accounts, he used to work there before the Jersey Shore.
Okay.
And dude, I gotta tell you, he is one of the funniest motherfuckers you'll ever talk to. The shit you see on TV, in real life, it's just, I knew the second that he got on that show that he was going to be a star, because the kid is he's super funny. But so anyway, the reason why my dad helped me and everything was because we got the Sorrentinos all knew me and shit, and I ran into his brother Frank at GNC, and I was like, "Yo, Frank, let Mike know, Jamie's cooking again, right?" Because everybody used to come to me for meals,
right?
So I used to cook for all the fucking juiced up cops, the fucking dirty bankers, fucking drug dealers. Dude, I was Eat Clean Bro was wheeling and dealing. I was driving around with meals in the back of my car. It was honestly the most fucked up thing you've ever seen. But people loved it because they text me, they'd be like, "Yo, I need grilled chicken and broccoli." I'd be like, "Yo, you want sweet potatoes?" They're like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, give me the sweet potatoes." And I was all over the place. So I was a real bro. And
I love that.
It was just so Jersey. It was so Jersey. It was so raw. It was so
dirty Jersey.
Oh yeah, people loved it. I'm driving to Bayonne. I'm down. I'm driving I'm down in Long Branch. I'm all over the place. So I got in, Mike and Mark and Frank and the family started ordering meals, and they had this show they were doing. So my dad stepped in and helped me set all my stuff up, and that's where the name came about.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Can I say one thing to you?
Yeah.
So we have 2 locations in New York. We have one in Soho and we have one on Wall Street. And for me, it was always I love entrepreneurship. I strictly my real core friends are hardcore entrepreneurs. They're people, because if I'm hanging with normal people, I'm a crazy fuck. I'm always thinking, if I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm like, dude, we could probably do this and make this move here. Yeah. And where it's when when you're hanging with normal people, they don't vibe on that level. And so I'm in the city a week ago. Uh-huh. Okay, we're closing a big deal with a huge company, and I get in my car and we are ready to leave, and I'm sitting there in traffic and I see an Eat Clean Bro truck in the city.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Brie, Eat Clean Bro is in fucking New York now too? And she's like, yeah. She's like, we saw some stuff on social media. And I was like, dude, I instantly just got so happy for you specifically because I was like, dude, good for him, man. Like, and I thought about myself because I've been at my shit for like a decade. And right now we're in 5 countries, and you know we're always just trying to help small business. Nice. And like the whole thing is like when I'm looking at it, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, dude, like my when I was a kid, I didn't want to be a fireman, a police dude, I just wanted to work on Wall Street. I don't know why. I just wanted to. I don't know if I saw it as a kid, the fucking movie, but I just wanted to work on Wall Street. And so like our second location that we got was in Wall Street. And when I hit that, I was like, yes. And like I felt that moment for you. I don't know how long you've been in the city, but I saw that truck and I saw the signage and you're fucking E-Clean Bro and shit. And I'm like, let's go, Jamie. This is fucking dope, dude. So how did that transition start to happen to you? Like, what was the turning point where like E-Clean Bro was now like, oh fuck, this is viable. Like this is real.
So like I said, January 13th, 2013. I was just back at it, like, just doing everything myself. I was. Eventually, like, I grew out of my friend's house, and I was still bartending on the weekends, and I would just barter with wherever I was working. So the first guy I bartered with, I was like, hey, I'll manage your restaurant. You know, can I use your kitchen, like, Sunday and Monday? I think he was closed those 2 days.
Right.
So I ended up making a deal with him. But, you know, the restaurant owners saw that I was onto something, and then they tried... you know, scumming me. Like, they tried stealing equity. They tried, like, forcing partnerships on me. So I was like, all right, dude, I'm fucking out. I left there. I went to another place, a little hole in the wall in Old Bridge. It's not even there anymore. It's actually a really funny story. The chef tried doing the same thing to me, but I got a little bit smarter. I went to the owner. Turned out, like, the chef was, like, stealing my rent money, and the owner wanted me out. Oh, yeah, dude, like... Damn. And then there was, like... People really tried to take me out in the beginning, but it gave me thick skin. Like, really, like, scumbag shit. Like, people were really trying to cut my throat and take me out. Yep. And even at such a small point in the game, like, dude, I couldn't have been making more than a few hundred meals a week, but people saw that I was onto something, and they were trying to take it from you. They tried to take it from me. So then the woman... the restaurant industry, man, like, it takes your soul. Like, you either make it or it takes you. And she was done. She was ready to leave. And it's a really funny story. It was like a Tuesday. I just got done cleaning the place. And she's like, oh, hey, Jamie. I'm like, hey. She's like, you know, my lease is up and I'm not renewing. So, like, we got to be out of here by Friday. And I'm like, oh, like, dude, my heart sank. I'm like, I just put 6 months into this fucking shit and I'm out of business again. Like, fuck. Like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like, right. I just put my heart and soul into this shit. 6 fucking months. Like, I got this momentum going and, like, I'm out of a kitchen. Like, kitchens are expensive, dude.
Oh, like, dude, I know.
Equipment, like, fucking hoods, rent, like, and, like, dude, I started with $300. So, like, dude, I can't go and just buy a fucking kitchen. Like, no. I'm paying $500 a month in rent. So, I called up my old boss, Joe, who has a bunch of restaurants in, like, local restaurants in Monmouth. I used to work at a place called Nonas, and I was like, please, God, like, just please let me, like, keep this going. And I was like, hey, Joe, you know, I got this catering company. I'm doing, like, bodybuilder meals. It's just me. Like, I'll come in and, like, if I need help, like, I'll use your guys. There'll be no strangers in your restaurant. Like, do you care if, like, I use your kitchen in the morning? Like 2 days a week. And he was like, yeah, man, like, no problem. And I was like, holy shit, like, I just, like, the biggest fucking break of my life. It was like, yeah, man, no problem. Right. Like, the nerd, like, dude, it was like a pretty big adrenaline dump. I was like, oh my God, like, thank you, God. Like, just like, thank you, God, you know, like, thank you, God, like, thank you, like, because I had, like, my back was up against the wall, dude. Like, I could not get a job anywhere else. Like, nobody would hire me. Right. Like, I couldn't get Best Buy. I couldn't get Sleepy's. I couldn't even get Muscle Maker Grill. Right. And had Muscle Maker Grill hired me, I probably could have changed their entire fucking company. But, like, they didn't hire me. Right. So at that point, man, like, I got into Nonas, and then, like, I had, like, some stability. Right. He wasn't trying to steal my company. He wasn't trying to fuck me. He wasn't trying to, like, you know, he was just there and giving me guidance and mentoring me in the restaurant world. And at that point, I could finally breathe. You know, I could finally focus on, like, growing the business. Right. You know, like, operations with food are very important. Like, if the food's not good, bro, people are not coming back. Nope. So, like, I could breathe. I could focus on the food. I could focus on on the brand, and like, I guess at this time, people were starting to use Instagram.
Right.
And I thought like Instagram was whack. I was like, I was all about like the street cred, you know? Like I was about the street cred.
Right.
And like a lot of people think like I blew up because of Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
My street cred blew up my Instagram.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like.
That's a huge. I like that.
You know what I mean?
Right there. Like that's huge.
So like it all clicked. So. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the celebrity shout-outs and like the celebrity endorsements like really helped. But like, I got those celebrity friends and relationships because of the credibility on the street.
Of course.
So, cause like, dude, I was literally doing this for like 9 years at that point. So like, people like knew me. So then like I started getting some traction, and then so what ended up happening was I was like faking it until I made it. So what kind of like blew up my Instagram was I posted this video of all the meals I made that day.
Right.
And I hashtagged FitFam. And like at that time, dude, like nobody's ever seen that many meals before.
Right.
So Instagram Fitness picked it up and like reposted it, and that got me like a couple thousand followers. And then I think where I got lucky was so like I told you, I was cooking for Mike the Situation. And one day, a friend of mine from high school, Sean Dua, checked into the Olympia on Facebook.
Oh, shit.
Sean is just like some sweet Indian kid, you know? Just a sweetheart. But like, what the fuck is Sean doing at the Olympia? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's weird. So I'm like, Sean, like, what are you doing at the Olympia? And he's like, I work for this company called Shreds. And I was like, oh, dude, that's fucking awesome. And at the time, dude, Shreds was like...
Was this when they were blown up?
Dude, they owned... You could not go on Instagram and not see their products.
Or one of their bodybuilders.
One of them.
Yeah,
somebody.
They're athletes.
So, so I was like, dude, like, you gotta let me come up. Can I bring some meals by? And he's like, yeah. He's like, actually, Arvin heard of you through Mike. Like, supposedly, like, they saved all the fucking containers. So like Arvin was over their house one day and was like, dude, what the fuck is this? And like Frank had a closet of like thousands of fucking containers.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was like my end. Like, thank God they saved the containers. So then I got in with Arvin, and Arvin liked you know, like when you're an entrepreneur and you're going 1,000 miles an hour, like I met his pressure. You know, Arvin would fucking text me at 4:30 in the morning. I got this guy coming in. Can you get me meals? I'd be like, yeah, man, like ShopRite opens up at fucking 7. Like I'll start cooking. I'll be in Jersey City at 11. You know, like so like Arvin always respected like how fucking hard I worked.
Right.
And it was always yes.
Right.
Like you never got no out of me. Still to this day. Like I hate the word no.
Fuck no.
So I started cooking for Arvin, and then like all of his athletes, and then where I got my real lucky break was Massey. She had Manco Fit. She had the biggest fitness account on Instagram at the time. And then she introduced me to Lala Anthony. And then once I got that shout out from Lala, dude, I got like, I think I got 40,000 followers in like 24 hours.
Wow.
Like my fucking emails shut down, all that shit shut down.
Shout out to Lala, yo, damn.
Yeah, Lala. Yo, there's like a lot of famous people in the world, but like when you talk about like fame and clout, like Lala might not be the most famous person,
right?
But if Lala says jump, like you'll just see people just start jumping. Like she's got clout. Like unbelievable clout.
Yeah, word. I see that.
Nothing I've ever like. There's no like when she shouted me out, that basically, I feel like that is what really brought meal prep to the mainstream. And one of the things that I brought to meal prep, one of like the unique things about Eat Clean Bro was, I let people order whatever they want. There was no meal plan. There was not like sign up. Like there's no sign up. There's no contract. There's no breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's no snacks. Like, you just order whatever you want. And people really like that. So
that customization.
Yeah, like order whatever you want. And yeah, I mean that was like the lucky break I got with Instagram. And then once I started cooking for Lala, that like gave me confidence, right?
Right.
So I was like, dude, if I could cook for Lala, like, dude, I'm hanging out with like Carmelo Anthony while he's playing PlayStation with his kid.
What?
Like, if I could hang out with like these people, then like, why can't like I cook for other famous people?
Right.
Like, she's got a private chef, dude. She doesn't fucking need me, but she's like, I'm cooking for her. I'm prepping her for like movie sets and shit, helping her lose weight or like helping her. So then, you know, and then like I had like a lot of Insta famous people, but like, you know, there's a difference between being Insta famous and being actually famous.
Of course.
So I was thinking like, I made a list in my head, like the top 3 people I want to meet. That was Jay-Z, 50 Cent, and Frankie Edgar. And I'm like, well, you know what? Like I can't really think about how the fuck am I going to get in touch with Jay-Z or 50 Cent? Right. But I'm like, Frankie's a local guy. Right. And like, I'm a wrestler, so like, he's a wrestler. Like, maybe he'll like, maybe it can happen, you know? Like, it's a long shot, but like, I can make the connection. So I reached out on his like Instagram page to the manager, which was his wife. But like, dude, I just sent an email. Like, hey, I'm Jamie. Like, I'm cooking these meals. Like, can I like bring some meals by? Dude, every like few weeks I reached out. Took like 6 months. Like I'd always go back and forth. Like Renee always answered me, but like, and then eventually after 6 months, I'm like, listen, I'm coming to Tom's River with 20 fucking meals. Like if you want, you could throw them out. If not, you could try them. But like, I don't want anything. I just want to bring Frankie food. And she was like, all right. Like probably thinking, all right, you pain in the fucking ass. Like fine, like I'll do it. Right. So then I went over there. I met her. Dropped off food. Frankie liked it. Frankie loved my like entrepreneur story. Frankie, and then like we had a lot of mutual friends and shit, so I guess I checked out, and me and Frankie became friends, and then Renee introduced me to like Jenny and Roger. And then Jenny, you know, started putting me on and shouted me out, and then I went to high school with Jackie Frazier, so her husband Todd, I got in with them, and then like it just started branching out, and like Lala hooked me up with Angie, Beyonce's cousin, so I was at like Parkwood Entertainment.
Damn, you're like one step from beyond. That's crazy.
I was in Beyonce's office, dude, in her conference room with their social media director, looking at like this laptop here with like Beyonce's Facebook with like 80 million viewers. Like if I dove over the table and went like this and hit enter, dude, I could have yeah, seriously. Yeah. It was wild, man. Her office is so cool. All of her friggin' awards, bro. She's got walls of awards.
That's insane.
Yeah, that was insane. That was like a real. But you know what, dude? Like I've always been like real down to earth, and I know that like if my food starts to suck, this shit's all over. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't be like I can't like set and forget my shit. Like my food has to be fucking good. Right. Like I could be friends with every celebrity in the world. If my food sucks, like I'm fucked. Right. So like I don't let any of that shit affect me. Like yeah, you know what? It's a huge advantage. I'm launching Atlanta. I'm opening up in Atlanta. I can call in a ton of favors, and like I can get a lot of free press. Right. Which is a huge advantage. It's huge. But like if my food is not good, it will flop and it'll all be for nothing. Right. And people don't give you a second chance in the food world. No. Like you get one strike and you're out. No. So like I've had a lot of cool things have happened. My favorite is the Uber story. Did you see that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Wasn't that insane?
Yeah, that was fucking bad. But for people who don't know what that is, please share.
All right. So by the way, this kid Kenny is a fucking lunatic. All right? I felt bad because he was a kid. I thought he was getting picked on by the media. Right. So I didn't like that. You know, I don't like to see people get picked on.
No, it's fucking bullshit.
Anyway, dude, the kid got like fucking blacked out drunk, accidentally took an Uber from West Virginia to New Jersey, and it was $1,600, right? It was a $1,600 Uber ride, and the story aired, and it was like a funny story. But then like a week later, like the story re-aired because he started a GoFundMe page to help pay for the thing. And then that's when like the media started making fun of him, like no one's gonna pay your bill, like. Right. And what happened was, I think it was the Star Ledger was like, no one's picking up your tab, bro. Right? So I'm like, they said bro.
Oh, so then like, you fucking come out of nowhere.
I said, hey, you don't fucking say my name in vain. So I got my tech guys. I said, dude, get me in touch with this guy. I'm going to pay his fucking bill. I'm like, you know what? If they want to make fun of anybody, they can make fun of me. And I was talking about it with my wife, and I'm like, look, yeah, the kid is a fucking idiot. And like, God only knows how fucked up he had to have been, but he didn't drive. He did nothing wrong. No one got hurt. Right. Like, the kid doesn't deserve to be fucking humiliated worldwide. Right. So that was like my stance. And then we like PR'd it and shit. We were like, thanked him for not driving drunk. We took the money he raised, we donated it to women or mothers against drunk driving. And we took a funny story and we made like a positive spin off it, and like I bailed him out of a tough spot.
Right.
But that story went around the world, bro. Like for $1,600, I was like there's Chinese people reading Eat Clean Bro, there's Russian people. Yeah, so that was whenever I talk about like people talk about my billboards, but like dude, that story that was probably my biggest win of my career.
That's so awesome, dude.
That was a crazy win.
I love that, man. And so like for people out there who are listening in, like what makes you want to do things like that? Like what triggered you to be like, hey, you know what? This is some dude and he's drinking. I know the bro thing popped into it. But like what drove you to be like, you know what? I'm gonna do this.
I actually like I was just.
You saw the opportunity, or is it like just?
It
pure?
wasn't like you know what? Like I just. I don't know, man. Like I got a soft spot for people, especially people down on tough times. Like
right.
I don't know, dude. I just feel bad for people, man. So
you've experienced it.
Yeah, I've been down. And if I could help, I always, whenever it's like a local guy or something, like I try to help. Hurricane reliefs, all that shit, like even shit in like North Carolina shit, I always like try to do something. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm Oprah Winfrey, but like like I try.
Right.
I do what I can. And like when I go to bed at night, and I thank God for everything, and I know that like in my heart I'm doing my best.
Right.
And I'm doing my best for the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing my best for like my community. Because like when you're in my position, like you want to take credit for your accomplishments, but in reality, dude, like, if the people did not love me and the people did not want me where I am, like, they could take it away.
Right.
Like, I am where I am today because people support me.
100%.
And like, I can just never lose sight of that because I've been laughed at. I've been a failure. I felt worthless. And now that I've had this opportunity to be successful, I just want anyone who supports me to know that, like, not only are you getting a $10 meal, but, like, you're providing a fucking happy place for people to work. And then also, like, the countless fucking like, there's, like, a lot of sad stories, but, like, there's a lot of, like, kids that are, like, terminally ill, like, I give their parents food. Like, there's so much shit I do that I don't talk about, like, on the low, because, like,
You're not looking for the press on that. You're just trying to do the right thing.
I'm trying to, like, help the community. That's just the type of person I am, especially now, too, like, with being a father, man, like you just love your kids so much, bro. When you hear stories of like somebody's fucking kid being sick or somebody's kid being hurt, like it just breaks your heart. So for me to send them some meals so they don't have to worry about food, it's like the least I could do, So right. I always look to like do things like that.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to ask you. So this is awesome. And one thing I want to ask you though. So if you could go back in time, of being current Jamie, to go talk to 2005 Jamie. Yeah. What advice would you give that Jamie?
The advice would just be, I didn't really take cooking food seriously until like that's all I had left. Mm-hmm. If I could have talked to 2005 Jamie, it would have been like, don't listen to people who are trying to tell you. Like, they used to say, do you know how many meals you'd have to sell to make any money doing that? Mm-hmm. Do you think people fucking say that to me now?
Right? Fuck no.
Right?
Dude, that's fucking fire. I love that right there.
Do you think anybody fucking says like, I'm about to do $15 million this year.
I know.
Do you think anybody is fucking talking about money to me?
No.
So, like, if you love doing something and you can't go a day without it, fuck the money, dude.
Right.
Like, you will find a fucking way to make money.
Right.
You will somehow find a way to make money. Like, don't let money, like, alter your fucking life. Like, money comes and goes, too. Like, I stress out all the time about money because, like, you just never know. I mean, like, the bigger your company gets, the bigger your costs get, and, like, the bigger risks you have to take. Like, you're like, dude, like, fucking upping my website, upping all these things, like, making these big financial decisions. But, like, dude, I am so happy with what I do. like, I try not to think about money. You know what I mean? Like, I get to work with people I like being around. I like to be in the kitchen. I like to taste good food. I like to work with chefs. Like, I admire, like, I admire the chef lifestyle. I admire chefs. I admire creativity. Like, good food is what, like, makes me, like, it's all I have in life. You know, like, good food is, like, it's what drives me, man. Like, I don't know, like, if you have a hobby or like a passion, like probably maybe media is your, like, you love that shit. Like, I cannot stop thinking about, like, how do I make my chicken more tender? How do I caramelize this better? How do I, like, mark this better? How do I make this presentation better? Like, every fucking day. Like, my chefs are probably like, Jesus, Jamie, like, we're already the fucking best. Like, would you just stop? Like, but no, I won't stop.
Of course not.
Like, I will not stop. And so with that being said, you know, because I could have been here 10 years ago. Everything happens for a reason. I have no regrets. But I would have told, like, Jamie in 2005, like, listen, man, like, if you love food, you fucking do food, you know? You do not think about money. You do not think about a career. You think about what you fucking love doing every day.
Right.
Because, like, dude, money is not, like, money's important, and, yeah, money is great, but, like, as you could tell, I would have done this for free. Like, I failed so many fucking times.
Right.
So many times I've lost, like, all of my fucking money. So, like, I would do this for free. So, like, what is the fucking point of, like, being worried about money? That's what I would say.
Right.
Put the fucking love first. Put the passion first. Put being creative first. Like, when I talk to these kids in high school, like, these high school kids with learning disabilities, like, you know, like I said before, I struggled really fucking hard to get C's. Mm-hmm. People always tried to fucking tell me I was stupid. People always tried to, like, make me think I couldn't do things. But, like, dig down into who the fuck you are, what you love doing, and, like, double down on that, man. And, like, find a fucking way to commoditize it and find a way to do it. That's all I mean, that's what I would tell 2005 Jamie.
And anybody listening in, fucking rewind that. Make sure you write that shit down, dude. That right there is going to help so many people. That one fucking little bit.
Let me explain to you. Like, I'll reiterate it, right? So, like, a lot of people have seen me be successful. And I've been copied by people, like, to the T. I mean, dude, I've been copied pretty hard. But I've put so many people out of business, right? Like, they were just thinking about my money.
Right.
They were thinking, oh my God, this guy's got all these vans, he's got all these billboards, he's got all these employees, fucking money's pouring out of his pockets. Like, nah, bro. Like, you don't have the fucking balls to do a $500,000 website. You don't have the balls to buy those vans. But, like, I believed in my ability. I believed in my passion. I believed in my team. Like, it was never about money. And if you do chase other people's dreams and you do try copying people, you're going to get your fucking ass kicked. You just are. You're not going to be able to just look at somebody who's successful and want to copy them because they're successful.
Right.
You'll never be the best. Like, you'll never be the guy. Like, there's, like, with this day and age, people are so concerned with looking successful, right?
Right.
Like,
it's all the fucking image on Instagram.
Dude, you got the Chia Pet. You got the Pet Rock. You have so much weird shit that made millions.
Right.
Like, if you fucking love collecting rocks,
go collect rocks.
Fucking collect rocks, man.
Right.
Don't, like, try to be a fucking caterer because you see me with a bunch of vans. Like, go start a rock collection.
Right.
And, like, post some fucking interesting content on Instagram about those rocks. And geo-target rock people. I don't know. Like, do something that you love.
Right.
And, like, balls in.
Right.
It reminds me of, like, all those kids who are, like, obsessed with video games now. Like, Major League Gaming's becoming a thing. Whoever would have thought that that would be a thing?
Bro, there's that one kid, he's making, like, $5 million.
Ninja.
Or, like, Ninja, right?
Yeah.
Bro, I gotta tell you. And that is a perfect example. Like, how many people are trying to be like that kid Ninja, right?
Oh, my gosh.
How many people are trying to be him now?
Right.
But do you think he fucking thought about money when he started playing those video games?
Hell no.
I mean, I don't want to make an assumption, but there's probably some fucking dork who just wanted to play video games all day. Just like Tony Hawk. When I met Tony Hawk, he was like, dude, like, skateboarding was lame. He's like, nobody cared that I skateboarded. Like, he pioneered skateboarding. Right. Did he pioneer skateboarding because he thought he'd make money? Like, he fucking loved to skateboard.
Right. And that's it, dude.
That's it.
Finding your passion. And I'm vibing with you so hard now because too many people focus just on the dollar signs. And that's the problem, because you know what? And listen, and part, especially in this day and age right now, talking about current, it's like people. Let's use you as an example, right? Like, people look at you, and they're like, whether or not they like cooking, whether or not they are a chef, whether or not whatever they are, like, people will look at you and be like, oh, dude, he's doing this. Like you said, this is a viable business. I could just start doing this out of my garage. Yeah. And like listen,
they try.
Exactly. We have clients that we work with across the country, hundreds that do meal prep shit.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
And it's like they've been popping up out of nowhere. But the one thing that I want to say that I really respect about you, that like you said from day one, from the second I just met you, is you always try to stick with original shit. Yeah. And like you're always racking your brain on original. And me being a marketer, I mean, literally, you're fucking trying to get your tender chicken and caramelized shit like all the time. That's what you're thinking about. Yeah. For me, it's always fucking conversion, closing, helping our clients grow, building, being creative. And so like I'm always thinking about that stuff. And when I see your content, and from afar, it's like people look at you and they just look at the success. They don't know 2005 Jamie. No. They look at now Jamie.
Yeah.
And that right there is like the craziest part. And honestly, one recommendation I would have for you on your site is like there should be some sort of video content about that, because me being an entrepreneur, I love if I'm working with a business owner and like I know their story's fucking dope, and they care so much and that's all I give a fuck about. Like to me, I'm like, dude, I want to work with those people.
Yeah, I have mixed emotions. So like I used to post like daily. Like I used to pour my heart onto my content, and then I started getting haters.
Well, that comes with it.
Like for me, like so like when I think about like somebody hating me, I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, are you fucking kidding me, motherfucker? Like I came up. Like you can't fucking imagine like a motherfucking more gangster way to come up. Like I paid my fucking dues. Right. I got booed off stage. Yep. Like I fucking came up like the way a hater expects a motherfucker to come up. And now, like, you're hating on me and my come up when, like, I've done nothing but try to do right by fucking everybody.
Right.
But, like, now you're hating on me. So, I'm like, you know what, man? Like, I gave my wife the Instagram. She runs the Instagram now. But then, like, part of me is like, I should be sharing these stories. I should definitely, I should be. But at the same time, I don't want to, like, you see, like, I don't want anybody, like, my success, I don't want to like my goal is to not like rub my success in anybody's face and not like make anyone feel bad about where they are in life. Everybody starts everybody has their own starting point, and everybody should have their own. One of the most important things everybody should have is an idea where they want to go in life.
Right.
Because if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there.
Yeah, exactly.
When people...
That's so unreal.
Let's go.
So,
is that the name of this podcast?
Yeah, that's definitely the name. Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, like, like, the thing is, Instagram and Facebook and all this shit is everyone's highlight. Any bit of advice I can get, like, just, like... In this day and age of like social media, man, like just put the fucking phone down, dude, and like just fucking focus on yourself.
Just live, dude. That's the problem. And like to what you just said with your mixed emotions. So I we have a different another podcast called The Lion Mentality. And the other podcast is with somebody who's on MTV, Paulie Calafuri, and Paulie, somebody who's on Big Brother and The Challenge. So we have like a bunch of people from MTV that we're interviewing and stuff. And one common theme, like, we have Sean T from Insanity. We're going to be interviewing, in the next week. And so like every time we talk to these different people, before we jump on and we start talking to them about like their story and stuff beforehand, like it's always the same common theme of people who are on TV and in front of the mass public. It's always, I have so many people hating on me. I have so many people hating on me. And this one dude was like the nicest guy ever. And I was like, how the fuck can somebody hate this guy? He's just a nice dude. Like his story's crazy. Dude, like white glove. Like you can't find something to complain about this kid about. Yeah. And it's like, when you look at his comments, he's like, look at my comments right now. Look at his comments. There's somebody like, this guy thinks he's the fucking shit. He's a piece of shit. That. And it's like, dude, anybody out there who has some shit like that to say, I don't care if fucking this kid went to high school with this other guy. It doesn't matter, because there has to be those people in the world. Not everybody's going to be positive. So if we're going to let those people affect us, people out here who are people who are making moves, people who are doing big things. Like, that's the one thing I fucking hate it. Because anytime I talk to people like you who are, dude, like, people out here on Instagram are acting like they're Jamie status when they're not, and they go like they're in front of a fucking Lamborghini or in front of a Porsche, and then they fucking walk out of the car dealership and leave and go home. And it's like the problem is though is that what I always push to our clients that are scared to get on video or don't want to get on video anymore because of that shit, I'm like, dude, why are we allowing the fake people to take over? And why are we allowing this negative shit? Like, you're savage, and I don't think, because I've seen some of your content. There was one video that I watched, and I think it was like a year ago. I went like deep in fucking Jamie archives, and I was like learning Jamieology for a second before this. So I'm like I'm looking at some stuff, and it was a cool B-roll clip of a couple things happening, and then you're like, you essentially, it was good because you were like, I started this industry and I made it big and I made this and that, and I did all this great stuff, and now. The general like somebody random could look at it and be like, why is he bragging? Yeah. Right? But I looked at it like, dude, this dude put his whole life into this fucking business.
Yeah. I feel like, honestly, man, like I was definitely lucky. I was in the right place at the right time. A lot of stuff led up to me being at the right place at the right time.
Right.
If it wasn't me, it would have been somebody else, but it happened to be me. And, like, I did it fucking good.
Right. Right.
And one thing that I always like to say is good things happen to good people. And you're just a good person, and you deserve it because you were willing to put in the time and stay positive when a lot of other people would have given up. Like, no matter how many times you failed, you've always stood back up, too, which is super admirable.
Even if it didn't happen right away. Like, even if you didn't start right back right away.
And I think one of the major problems with a lot of people who are younger like me, they want gratification, success instantaneously, and that's not how it works. No. You'll never get where you want to go by taking the easy way, and that's just how it is anywhere, especially in life, too.
You gotta be so smart. Like, there's just so much shit you need to learn. Just even social interaction. Like, if I could say anything, I would suggest 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Mm-hmm. All right, that book.
Write this down, people. Write this down.
So you got the 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. That really helped me learn how to interact around me.
Right.
How to win friends and influence people. I think it was Dale Carnegie wrote that book.
Yes.
That helped me. That helped me work on me. Like, how do I talk to people?
Right.
So the 48 Laws of Power was like, how do people treat me and how do I deal with it?
Right.
How to win friends and influence people was like, how do I interact? And then the 21 Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. Like, Think and Grow Rich is obviously the classic that everyone reads.
Yes.
But the 21 Laws of Success really break down the 21 laws. And those three books right there, honestly, that's like the holy grail of those three books are what I really fall back on.
Write those down, guys. Write those fucking down and read those things.
And even if, like, you're a weak reader, the 48 Laws of Power is an awesome book. Like, it's really enjoyable to read. The audio book, like, the guy's voice drives me crazy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you like
that. I honestly, I do once in a while. I try to read a little bit just because it really broadens your mind.
Right.
But, yeah, sometimes the voice drives me crazy, too.
But, like, the 48 Laws are cool because, like, even if you don't want to read all the laws, like, even the chapter names are cool. And, like, the 21 Laws of Success, like, it all makes sense.
Right.
Definite chief aim, confidence, and just gives, like, such great examples. I would definitely recommend those three books. Those would be my three top books to read.
I love that. And make sure everyone, again, write that down, read those books. These are things, and we're getting close to our time here, and so, like, I have, like, three final things. So one, what, like, and this is something big, like, what in your mind, like, where do you see Eat Clean Bro in 10 years from today?
I'm at, like, a pretty big point right now. Because
you just said Atlanta before.
Yeah, so...
In that ATL.
Yeah, we're, what's really cool, man, is, like, people get overwhelmed with how much information they need to know, but one thing you gotta do, and, like, I've mentioned God a lot, like, or the universe, like, you don't have to be religious or whatever, but there is a higher power guiding us, and, like, you pour your heart and soul into everything you do, and you believe in yourself, and just try to understand that when it's time to cross a bridge or when it's time to make a turn in life, like, you will be prepared for those decisions. Right now, I am expanding into other cities, and I don't have all the answers, but I am very resourceful, and I am very quick to adapt to change. I am not set in my ways, and my ego, it does not exist. I could be going in a number of directions, but maybe I might be considering the franchise route. I'm not sure. In the event of a franchise route, then it should be a pretty quick national expansion.
Dude, that'd be 2 years max.
Yeah, because like my concept is it's a money making machine. So there's people who like buy those pretzel stands in the mall, and like you gotta own like 300 of them to make $60,000. So that's true, dude. It's horrible. Like those Aunt Annie's, yeah, bro. You got literally, dude. You have to literally own like a dozen of them to make a decent income. So that's where we're at. But what I said before about like having all the information, like dude, dealing with investment bankers, dealing with these sharks, like it's overwhelming as a kid who just started grilling chicken. But you know, I've got the right advisors. I have trusted counsel. I have all like these things put in place where, you know, 3 years ago, if you'd have told me this, bro, my fucking head would have exploded. So just like try to, you know, always be future oriented, but like keep your mind clear and stay in the focus of the moment, and that way you keep your sanity.
And for people, so speaking of sanity, for people who are growing businesses, right? Yeah. You have 100 and how many employees?
Dude, it's over 100, man. They're all happy too. It's amazing.
Right.
that's all I care about.
Of course.
So, but what I'm getting at, so really, I have a compass, right? So I have like this compass that I listen to every single day, and that is, are my employees happy?
Right.
So it's either yes or no.
Of course.
Are my customers happy? It's either yes or no.
Right.
Are my meals being delivered on time? Right. It's either yes or no. Am I priced right? Which is open to interpretation.
Right.
And is my food good? Which is also open to interpretation.
Right.
Those are my 5 guiding questions that I ask myself every single day.
That's huge. Everybody needs to have their own guiding questions. That's huge.
So, because like there's so many departments in my company, and there's so much shit that can go wrong, and there's so much like, you know, like there's so much things I could worry about, but like I need to just focus on these 5 things. And I live to see another day. I'm all about just live to see tomorrow.
Yes.
You know, like just live to see tomorrow. Like a poker tournament, you know, like just live to see another hand. You know, like if you're still in the game, like nothing beats time.
Right.
So like the longer you're in the game, and like the longer you're out beating your competition, and your competition's dying, and new guys are coming in, like just stay in the fucking game. Like just stay in the game and do what you got to do to stay in the game. Take risks, believe in yourself, but like also stay in the game. Don't like.
Dude, I love that. I love that you have your compass and your guiding. Like everybody, that's a big takeaway. Don't underestimate that. And I don't want to skim past that really quickly because that is a huge factor. Having that daily compass, daily checklist, or whatever it is that you know your business is doing well. But so I have 2 questions for you. Yeah. So secondly, as you've expanded, all right, so you went from this dude that was cooking in a fucking house with a commercial kitchen to like, again, hundreds of employees, you know, expanding crazy. How have you stayed sane in the growth, and how have you organized all these different things happening?
Yeah. So for everybody listening who sits in their fucking algebra class and goes, when am I ever going to fucking use this, right? Well, I'm going to tell you this right fucking now, guys. You're going to fucking use it. If you want to scale a business, well, like for me, so the perfect example, calculus, right? You're throwing a barbecue for 500 people.
Right.
Hot dog rolls come in packs of 12. Hot dogs come in packs of 8. There's 502 servings in a mustard bottle, right? Now you gotta.
Jesus Christ, I didn't know that.
Okay, whatever. No, I'm just saying. Like those are the variables. Right. So if you're gonna feed 500 people, like, how do I make this the most profitable barbecue possible, right? So I could give these guys the lowest price.
Right.
I could buy exactly what I need, and I can give these people the best fucking hot dog they ever had in their life.
Right.
You can't do that without education. You can't do that without a basic understanding of algebra and calculus. So I used Microsoft Excel, and I used actually took a fucking class at Brookdale. I got a C, but the calculus really changed my life. Chemistry and calculus really changed my life. Really helped me understand. Chemistry is all about like elements and things being in their simplest forms, and then bonds, and then calculus is all about like graphing exponential growth and like variables. The food industry is all variables, and like I said before, simply put, hot dogs, buns, mustard, you know, add all that shit together, and then like you got 500 people, you can get pretty exact, and that's how I've been able to scale up and down. And that's how I've been able to handle the explosive growth. But really,
but are you a natural organizer? Like,
no.
Like all these people coming in, all these things happening. Like, how did you do that? Does it help with your wife and stuff?
Yes. I tell people this, man. Like, they say, like, entrepreneurs are people who, like, jump off a building and then build a plane on their way down. Like, I've always put the framework in, but then, like, the people who I have working for me, I've always trusted them to tighten the bolts and make things perfect. So, like, I've been executing my vision, and then I do have a lot of people cleaning up my mess. Like, I don't want anybody here to think, like, I'm this smart fucking guy. Like, I couldn't get a job at Best Buy. But, like, I do have a vision, and I know it needs to get done.
Right.
And when it comes to good food, I'm a maniac. So, as far as, like, production with food, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was younger, I used to gamble a lot. I used to love Atlantic City, and I always wanted to learn how to play craps.
Right.
And, like, people would try to teach me how to play craps and never got it.
Mm.
It wasn't until I put my $20 down on the craps table, within, like, 3 rolls, like, I knew craps like everyone else.
Right.
So, like, when your money is on the table, and that's your money, like, you'd be surprised at how fast you learn.
Right.
You know? So that also was a huge help, if that makes sense.
No,
like,
it does.
The fact that it's my business and it's my money out there rolling, like, you start to learn real quick, like, oh, you know what, like, this is, all right, yeah. And plus, like, wasting food is evil, right? Like, you don't want to waste food.
Dude, no, fuck that.
All the food I do waste, though, I donate to Lunch Break in Red Bank.
Good, that's awesome.
Dude, I'm telling you, bro, these guys are eating like kings. It's funny. It's really funny, man. It's really awesome, but, like, it's funny that I'm like the big shot at, like, the food bank, dude. It's really funny.
It's so funny.
Look at Jamie's here.
Yeah. Like, dude, when I'm at the food bank, like, I'm the fucking man. Like,
you roll.
Yeah.
Yo, what do we got?
Yeah, like the elderly, bro. They're like, yeah. Like, it's like, yeah, it's funny.
The truck pulls up. They're like,
yeah, it's really funny.
But so were you like, so, because to me and to, like, people listening, because, like, a lot of people have crazy different types of businesses. Like, for us, like, the clients we have around the globe, like, for some people, like, somebody said this to me, and now I'm saying this to you. Somebody said to me, how the fuck can you organize hundreds of clients and their businesses and what they're doing and be creative and do all this stuff like that? And for me, it's simple, because, like, I mean, from like the outside world, it's very complicated, but for me, it's very, there's a simple checklist of things. But, like, the only question I have for you, though, is like I'm thinking of having 30,000 orders come in.
Yeah.
And me be like, what the fuck? And you're saying there's custom shit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, holy fuck. Like how did the organization take place?
Calculus, man.
Just boom, just numbers.
Everything is a variable. So, like, asparagus is a variable, broccoli is a variable, brown rice, all that stuff is broken into mathematical equations that I learned in calculus.
And then you've led the company with that in mind.
Yes.
That's huge.
Yeah. And then, like, so, like, I'm not an expert in calculus, but one of my friends who's an award-winning engineer is.
Right.
So, like, I'll bounce ideas off of him. Like, you have to be resourceful if you're an entrepreneur. There is no way you will know everything you need to know.
Right.
It's impossible. That's why you have friends. Like, my ability to make friends and the relationships I have with friends over the years is what really got me to where I am today. I could pick up the phone. Really, there's nobody that, like, I can't call or find something out. I can get in touch with anybody if I need to.
Right.
Anyone.
Right. And that's really cool. And obviously, through all your experience and everything you've done, got you there. Yeah. And then to end off, I know we're at the rock bottom here. So one thing we always like to ask any guest that we have on here, right? And you've said a couple really fucking good ones. So I don't know if you've already said it or not, but when I first started adapting social, I really was, like, hell-bent on, like, finding some sort of mantra, some sort of quote that I could really fuck with. Because, again, I had no money, I had no resources, and I was like, I just needed something to fuel up here. And so I found this quote, and it read, it reads, I use it still today for everything that I do. And it's, live a few years of your life like most people won't, so you can live the rest of your life like most people can't. And so I use that for everything, dude. I don't give a fuck if I'm trying to get back in the gym. Yeah. Because I have a similar story to you with that, too. I used to work out. I used to be bodybuilding. And then I started adapting social and then right down the fucking drain. But, like, what is something that really resonates with you? And is there a quote that you have?
Like 2013, 2014, every day in the morning, I would tell myself that I'm a fucking piece of shit and I don't matter. Because, like, when customers would yell at you and shit, And, like,
yeah,
you'd really have to be, like, humble as fuck and be like, I'm so sorry. Like,
right.
How can I make this right?
Right.
And, like, I remember just, bro, getting screamed at and shit. And, like, people don't fuck with food, bro. You fuck with their food, they will cut your throat. So I would always tell myself that. And that's something that always made me laugh. Obviously, like, it was supposed to be funny. So, like, anybody who's hearing that, like, it's meant to be funny.
Yes.
Like, you're a piece of shit, you don't matter. Like, shut up. Like, put like, fucking success first, you know? Like, you don't matter.
Right.
Like, you being right doesn't matter. You looking good doesn't matter. People thinking that you're smart doesn't matter. Like, all that matters is people eating the food and liking it and coming back for more.
Right.
Like, so that was one of the secrets.
I love that.
That was one of the secrets of my success.
That's good because too many people, they number one, you said before, if somebody calls you, you say yes.
Yeah.
The perfect example, you actually validated that today because, like, obviously there was a mix-up in a schedule and you could have been like, dude, I can't make it, you know, I thought it was going to be here, whatever the situation was, but you still got here.
Yeah.
And you didn't say no, and you did get here. And too many people, like, when they're starting businesses or when they're in a business, they're too good. It's too beneath them to do certain fucking things. And I fucking hate that. It's like
everyone hates that, bro. That's why those people don't make it.
Right.
It's a common thread of, like, successful people have a behavior. And, you know, that's why I get, like, I don't know, with, like, the way the world is going with, like, sensitivity training and all this stuff. Like, you know what? You got to be nice, but, like, the real world is cruel. And, like, not to say that, like, being mean is acceptable, but, like, dude, you have to have thick skin if you want to be an entrepreneur. Because although people should not be mean, people are fucking mean.
Oh,
They're nasty. And they will try to take you out.
And they will take everything that they're going through out on you.
Correct. So, like, you have to have thick skin. You have to be tough. I mean, there's no way around it. Like, you have to be tough. And you have to expect... you just have to expect it, and the world is not going to be fair with you. Never think that the world is going to be fair with you. That's like they say, right? You can't expect a lion not to eat you because you don't eat the lion. Like, that's
exactly.
Right.
It's not lined up that way.
No.
It's just the nature of the beast, man.
It is.
And Jamie, so thank you so much.
Thank you
for taking your time. I truly believe that, you know, time is the one asset we do not get back, and you being here today with us. You know, you have a company, you have a newborn, you have a wife, you know, I'm sure you have other things going on top of that. You know, you being here today, I know for a fucking fact that you're going to impact so many people and help so many people in their journey and through their experience here. So,
yeah, and if anybody, you're going to, what, are you going to tag me or something?
So hell yeah. Find me? I was just going to say, this is your plug point. So, like, tell them where to find you right now.
So, my company is eCleanBro, at eCleanBro, and then my personal page is Jamie Giovinazzo, at Jamie Giovinazzo. If you go on eCleanBro, you'll find me. I'm mentioned there a couple times.
He's just the guy running the company. No big deal.
Yeah,
they might mention him here or there.
I just really love how humble you are and down to earth, because I feel like that's a major reason why everyone that works for you loves you, is because no one ever wants to work in a big company where their boss is just like some question mark that you don't even see. Like, you're involved in every single process. And I think that really is super important. And John, you're the same way. You will walk around and talk to everyone and make sure that everyone's good and is like having their mind on what they're doing. That's so huge. It's so huge and goes so far, because everyone wants to feel valued, and the most way you can feel your value is to, like, have the owner walking around saying, "What's up? How's everything going?"
That's true. Yeah.
It is. And one thing, you know, I want to end off on. So we always end off. I'm like the complete opposite, since my job is to disrupt minds and to, like, day trade attention in a way. It's like the biggest thing that we end off on is not being on autopilot. And too many people, like, in life, like, if I were to see somebody from high school out in a fucking grocery store, a lot of times it's that weird awkward conversation of like, "Oh, hey, how are you? How's this? How's that? All right, you know, have a good one. See you later." The one thing we always tell people, if I'm leaving, like today, when we leave, I'm not going to tell you, "All right, have a good day, man. Good seeing you." It's, "Yo, create a great day." Because you're in charge of it, man. Nice. And too many people don't realize that life is not just fucking autopilot. So everybody listening in, my man Jamie fucking dropped it down on us today. There's so much valuable content. This guy is fucking awesome. He's super humble. You are really fucking humble, dude. This is the first time I'm meeting you, and, like, anybody out there, you know, who has been a hater or is a hater, fuck them, because at the end of the day, you know, you're a good dude. You're doing great things. You're helping, you know, food kitchens. There's so many things that you're doing, and at the end of the day, you are creating, you know, jobs, and the American dream is to do what you are fucking doing.
Thank you, man.
So thank you for just dropping some fucking, You just dropped some Harvard knowledge on some people, all right? You can't get this shit in school. This is through experience on the streets.
Jersey, baby.
Jersey, baby. Let's go. So thank you so much, man. And again, follow my Eat Clean Bro. And thank you again, man.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me.
Boom.
Awesome, dude.
Boom.